Your buyers are still searching for a tool or service like yours every single day. They just stop doing it on Google. They open ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini and they type something like, what's the best tool for my use case? What's the best service in my area? And they read the answer. If your product isn't in that answer, you're not losing the deal at the demo anymore. You're losing it before you ever knew the buyer existed. Here's how real this already is. A March 2026 study from G2 found that 51% of the B2B software buyers now start their research in AI chatbot more often than on Google. A year earlier, it was only 29%. It crossed half in 12 months. I'm John. I built an exited B2B SaaS company and I run an agency that does exactly one thing. We get B2B and SaaS companies recommended by AI search. I watched this happen from the inside on a real account, not in the trends report. In the next few minutes, I'll show you why the old SEO playbook stops being enough, then walk you through how we actually adapt. Let me show you what I mean, because if you only take my word for it, you should be skeptical. Go open ChatGPT right now and ask it for the best tool in your category. It doesn't hand you 10 blue links to sort through. It hands you a short list of names with reasons, and your buyer reads that the way they used to read the recommendation from someone they trust. That same G2 study found 71% of B2B software buyers now lean on AI chatbots to research software. The number I'll pay attention to is this. 69% of them said they ended up choosing a different vendor than the one that they walked in planning to pick because of what AI told them. 1 in 3 bought from a company they've never heard of before they asked. A third of those deals went to a vendor the buyer didn't know existed until the model named it. Getting in front of someone who never heard of you at the moment they were deciding used to be the hardest thing in the world to pull off. Now a machine does the introduction. The only question is whether it introduces you or your competitor. So this isn't coming. It's already how big a share of your market buys, which means the real question is what it does, everything you've been doing to get found. Now we're going to be talking about why the rank and click playbook stopped being enough. But again, before I go into this section, I don't want to say that SEO is dead. People have said that for 15 years and they keep being wrong. So you still need good SEO foundations, so don't skip those. The old game was simple. You write a page, you're ranking on Google, the buyer searches, clicks on your links, lands on your site, and you got a shot at having a conversation with them and hopefully they become a customer. And that still happens. But more and more, that search ends before the click. Google started answering questions right on the results page and people read the answer and move on. Research looked at the real browsing data and found that when one of those AI summaries show up, people click through to an actual website only 8% of the time. Only 8. Without the summary, it's 15%. So the click roughly halves, and they click a link inside the summary itself about 1% of the time. Think about what that does to the page you work so hard to rank. You can be sitting at the top of the results and still get close to nothing because the buyer got their answer, your link ever showed up, and this is called a zero search. So the page isn't the finish line anymore. What you're actually optimizing for now is one question. When buyers are searching for the top tools or services in your category, is your company getting mentioned or not? That's the new search reality you should be optimizing for. And getting mentioned means showing up inside what ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini say back, not just inside Google only. Different game, different rules, and the rest of this video is how you're going to play that game. Before I get into how you would adapt, if you'd rather just see where you stand right now, we put together a free AI search roadmap. We look at how visible you currently are inside AI search. We compare you to your direct competitors so you can see who the models are recommending instead of you. And then we map out the 90-day content plan to close that gap. No charge, link in the description. Now let's talk about change that's happening on the search landscape. The first thing is to understand which prompts you can influence, because you can't influence all of them. When someone asks a question to AI search, it answers one or two ways. Sometimes it answers straight from its training data. The stuff is already learned. Those are the broad top of the funnel questions and you can't do much about those. But sometimes before it answers, the model does a live search. It pulls from real sources on the open web and writes its answer from what it just found. Those are called grounded prompts, and they're the ones you shape because you can be in the sources the model is pulling from, and they tend to be the bottom of the funnel questions a buyer asks right before they choose. So that's the game, the high intent grounded prompt. Now, here's the myth I want to knock down before we go further, because it stops a lot of smaller companies from even trying. People think this only works once you're a big late stage company with a huge brand. It's backwards. When a model recommends tools in your category, it doesn't care how big your funding round was or what was your revenue. It cares about two things. One, how well you actually answer the question, how readable your content is by the crawlers, and two, whether other credible sources are also saying you're good, means if you have a good brand or not. It's your content and your brand together, not your balance sheet. One of the companies we work with, Warmly, gets 33% of its demos from AI search. An early stage company with a great content focusing on information score can get named right next to a company bigger than 100 times. So if anything, getting in before your category is crowded is the advantage, not the obstacle. And within those, you want two kinds. One is offensive prompts, essentially prompts that are helping you to put your product or services in front of the new buyers, like the best alternatives to a competitor, best tool for your category, or the plain how do I solve XYZ problem. Defensive prompts are helping you to control the story when buyers are already comparing you with a tool like yours or with a service like yours. The goal here is not necessarily to put our product or services in front of the new audience, but once they find us and comparing us with the competitors, we want to make sure that our product is described accurately so that we're not losing the deal before we can have a conversation on the sales demo. Now that you know what type of prompts you should be focusing, you build the part that actually matters. And it's the work a lot of people skip. You build your own content. Real pages on your own site, engineered to be the answers the model quotes. This is the foundation, and it's the one I would fight you on if you tried to skip it. Two formats do the heavy lifting. The listicle, the best tool for XYZ post, because that's the format these models pull from more than almost anything else. And the simple how-to that walks through how a tool like yours solves the exact problem. You're writing the pages that answers your buyers' real questions better than anyone in your space. And owned content compounds. That's the asset land you actually own. After that, you're going to reinforce everything you've done with off-site mentions. And this is the part everyone wants to do. It's basically the new version of building backlinks. For each prompt you're targeting, you find the sources the models are pulling from, the blog posts, the roundups, the comparison articles, and you get your name into them. Lined up with the same story your own pages tell, your content makes the claim. The mentions are the evidence that backs it up. One pro tip that I'm going to give you guys is like, if you reach out to a listicle, you want to make sure that your company is going to be listed at the top 3, because the crawlers are only taking information from the first part of the page. You have to notice the order here. You create own content first because it's yours and nobody can take it away. Mentions after that because they back it up. Do it backwards, leave it chasing mentions and skip the own content. You're building your empire on a rented land. The day that other site rewrites its post, your visibility goes with it. The last piece is how you keep the score, because most people measure the wrong thing. You have to change your perspective from just measuring clicks. And for you to do that, you need to track the high intent prompts that matters. Once you start tracking, there are a couple of things that you should be paying attention. One is your visibility. The visibility is calculated by when someone is asking the question, is your brand being mentioned there or not? The second thing is citations. We want to make sure that AI is taking information from our pages. Why? It's because if we get a visibility and we don't have citations, it means that AI doesn't really know our website, and the content that it trains itself is not from our end, it's probably from the third parties. Like if you track the one or two, the citations and visibility, you're good. You don't need to go and like make this overly complex. You can use any tool out there. There are a bunch of different tools. I would say like go ahead and get the one that is the most budget friendly for you. You don't need all the weird features that they're selling you for like thousands of dollars. You just want to make sure that you can track prompts in the platforms that matters to you. Now let's talk about like how this channel is different, and it's not like a sprint, it's more like a marathon. Look, many of you are just like searching for the short-term hacks, but this isn't a project you finish once and you check it off. The models update, your competitors publish, buyers start asking new questions, so you keep watching what the models say in your category, you keep building own content around the new prompt, you keep reinforcing it, and you go again. Run it on that loop and it stops being marketing chore. It turns into an acquisition channel. One company we work with, Juma, their early stage, they closed a 6-figure enterprise deal that came through AI search. That's how you adapt. Go after the prompts you can actually influence, build on content that earns the mention, back it with off-site mentions, measure whether you're getting mentioned instead of clicks, and keep going. That's how you stop losing deals you never knew were happening and start being the answer instead. So the summary, paid channels are getting more expensive, and the place your buyers go first has moved on. The companies that figure this out early are going to own their categories inside AI search for the years, the same way the early SEO winners did. I would rather that be you than the competitor ML is recommending right now. If you want us to check your AI search visibility and also build you a plan on how you can close your visibility gap or go from being invisible to visible in the 90 days, click the link below, book a call with us where we're going to create a free AI search roadmap for you. If you like it, you can continue with us. If you like it, but you don't want to continue with us, you still walk away with the 90-day plan. So if you like this video, I also have another video which I go into more detail on how you can create AI search engine optimization strategy, the same step-by-step strategy that I use in my agency House of Code. Make sure to check out my other videos.